It's another hot day in Islamabad where we are visiting the monument. It's mainly just a monument and a lot of different viewpoints around, and got the I'm not going to pronounce it, but we've got the park here as well, and quite a few other museums around. So there's the National Monument Museum, which I'm going to visit, and you've got the Heritage Museum as well, which I find really interesting. So you've got 4 main petals, which represent Sindh, Balochistan, Punjab, and the Pakhtunkhwa, and then you've got this 3 little petals, which represent Azad Kashmir, Gilgit, and something else, I can't remember which. The thing I find very interesting is, Pakistan in 1947 was, partitioned, Pakistan and Bangladesh, which is East Pakistan back then. The most intriguing thing I find is that each 4 of these regions are its own sort of people. They're kind of different ethnic lineages, different tribes, but they all kind of come together under Pakistan. So I think, but when we say we're Pakistani, are we really Pakistani, or are we really like belonging to our own ethnic tribes? If you're from the Pakhtunkhwa side, you're more of a Pathan, and you have more of that kind of lineage where you're linking to the Turks. Maybe from the other side, the Sindh side, might be more Persian, Arabs, who knows. But it's like the tribes, the people, they moved around a lot. They're different people, different conquerors that came to the lands. And of course, during the whole India-Pakistan partition, people migrated across as well. So it kind of gets you thinking, we come under the banner of Pakistan and there's a symbol of unity. There's also a lot of diversity. So a lot of different people and different backgrounds that come together, forming Pakistan. So I find that really intriguing. It kind of shows diversity in the sense of how different people are, with different backgrounds, different heritages. But there's also a lot of sort of beauty with it as well, I guess, coming together under one country. But generally speaking, I just find it interesting. 4 different cultures per se, but different cultures in different influences in like its own way, but coming together to form Pakistan. And of course, it's not been without its issues, but this is what I find quite intriguing about the monument and about the world in general. Now we've got all these nation states before. It was the age of empires and tribes and stuff like that. So it's like we all kind of have our own heritage and our own sort of story with our backgrounds. If you ask somebody here living in Peshawar 50 years ago that they'll be moving to the UK, living in a country full of Pakistan, all different regions, full of people of different countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Muslims in different areas, would they ever believe you? Probably not. But I think there's kind of beauty, the diversity, and the fact that everyone has migrated to the UK. I've met Muslims from different backgrounds. It's quite interesting how history has led to that. And also, you think back, the only time you would have really seen people from different backgrounds, like if you're from Pakistan, we have only seen black people even, would have been in Hajj. So imagine going Hajj 50 years ago, not having no social media, not having really travelled the world, or not having any of that kind of rural experience. Let's say you go back 100, 150 years. Like when you go Hajj, it'll be the first time you see people from all over the world, like Chinese, Black, Malaysian, even from like Europe. So it's intriguing when you think about it like that, how we all come from our own backgrounds, and this is just a symbol of Pakistan and the 4 different regions that have come together. So yeah, this is my sort of short reflections on it. We'll be chilling here for a bit, go to the museum, and then maybe walk around the park, or maybe not, maybe go back to the hotel and then to the Centaurus Mall. We'll see, but it's nice seeing this symbol of unity and just understanding a bit about the history behind it, the different people that come together to form Pakistan. So here you have Gandhi and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Gandhi Azam, just chilling. Okay, it's not chilling. This is just an illustration of the talk that they held back in 1944. So one thing I probably haven't deeped a lot of is the struggle that the Muslims had. So after the Indian Mutiny, after basically the collapse of the Mughal Empire, was the official end of it. The Muslims faced a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, and I think because the Hindus were more favoured by the British, the Muslims formed the Muslim League, and that was to kind of build the rights of the Muslims and try to eventually build a state, which I think was Muhammad Iqbal's vision, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah was inspired by that, and he instigated that, he made it happen. He was like, despite all the issues and all the challenges, he negotiated it in the end. Interestingly, alongside the main provinces like Balochistan, Sindh, Punjab, and Pakhtunkhwa, they also had Sylhet and Bengal. So Bangladesh basically was part of it as well. Because they were wanting to build, the idea was to build a Muslim country on its own. But this was born out of struggle. So if you see here, so they basically had all the struggles. So their vision was that Muslims could have their own land, their own country, because they felt that if they stayed under the current arrangements, it would have not favoured them at all. So the fact that they would plan this for many, many years, there are so many struggles and so pushed through, and so many people that fought. I think you've got to kind of see the privileged side of it, where it is something to be proud of, that you're part of this nation that was born out of that idea. And of course, it's had many issues afterwards and a lot of corruption, and it's not gone maybe as initially intended by the founder, by the Azam. But I think just an appreciation that this is a vision they had. Whether they were right or wrong, that could be debated. In the sense that did they work out in the end? It's still a work in progress. But the intention they had and the plan they had and the things that they made happen, going abroad, trying to get money, to fund the activities, I think has to be appreciated. They had good intentions at heart. It's just, it's intriguing because you think about, being Pakistani, being Kashmiri, whatever. It didn't just come casually, it came with a lot of struggle. It came with a lot of planned work and effort and lives and blood to make it happen. So, in this nation state age, I think that's something that needs to be appreciated, and I hope, Pakistan wakes up and reaches potential and realizes the vision that, Qadi Azam and Iqbal had for it. So I just thought I would share that, because just being in the museum here, because I'm in the museum and just taking that in, that, it wasn't just a casual thing, Buddha state. It was planned effort, planned struggle, and eventually they got the land and they united, despite the differences, despite the amount of issues they had afterwards. So I find that very interesting, and so that kind of gives you, I guess, something to be a bit proud of.
Mama ke choy naam se?
Okay, just enjoyed a nice little view and some lassi. Well, I didn't enjoy the lassi, it wasn't as good as the 1969 one, but the terrace chilling there was really nice. So you can see some shots of that. And it's on the third floor of the Centaurus Mall, which is like the Pakistani ideal shopping centre that they love. I think they dream of having shopping centres that are like this, that we see it in the adverts in the movies and everything. So this is like made for them especially. So that's pretty cool. One thing to note though is when you are getting your bill, there's like a 70% tax on it, which isn't normally put on the original price. So just be wary of that. And I think the building as well, that on the pictures you see that there's like a fourth skyscraper kind of building, but right now there's only the three kind of normal buildings, and then look out this side. This is where they're building the new area. It's going to come probably in the next 5-10 years, because there's a lot of work to do. But it's definitely a nice place to visit. It's quite chill. This is like their Westfield, I guess. Sort of a lot of UK shops. So worth a visit. Wouldn't be top of my list, but if you've got time and you want to see and experience it, that's pretty nice. This guy there praying in the shop. You like to see that, don't you? Yeah, inshallah. Allah accept it. So this is the Centaurus Mall, and back to the hotel, the guest house we go.